Today on the channel, it's a return of the Kyle Peterson Top 10 in honor of 54,000 subscribers. We got a special Top 10 as today I'm counting down the hardest to find figures of 2025.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another edition of the Kyle Peterson Top 10, a Thursday tradition here on the channel, where occasionally we're doing Top 10 and Top 5 countdowns every single Thursday for years at this point. And today, it's a special Top 10 episode as we celebrate 54,000 subscribers on this very YouTube channel. Every time we hit 1,000 milestone, we do a different top 10. And this time, this top 10 is going to be centered around a kind of a best of list for 2025. As you guys know on the channel, as we close out the year, we count down everything and anything we've talked about on the channel all year long. We find out truly what was the best action figure of 2025. We count down our top 10 Marvel Legends, WWE Elite, AEW figures, Masters of the Universe, NECA figures, and all points in between. So make sure you subscribe because we got a lot of countdowns to come. And I always say, nothing against anybody else's list. This is my list, as we always say as well. But I am one of the people that have actually had all these figures. I've put them through their paces. Now, it is my personal opinion, but I can give you a pretty good sense on these things because I've actually had the figures. It's kind of weird when people give top 10 best of figure for the list year when they haven't had the figure or don't even own the figure. But, at the end of the day, it's their list just like it's my list. But mine is based on my hands-on unboxings here on the channel. And I don't list anything I didn't have. If there's some amazing Yamaguchi figure, which I don't even know what that is, it's not going to be in any of my lists. I don't even know what that is. It's totally off of my radar. But I digress. We got more on that in the future. But of course, this is a top 10 countdown, and we're going to start at number 10, work our way to number 1. Number 1 being the hardest to find figure of 2025. As I said, this is my list. Put your list in the comments down below. And your mileage may vary. I fully expect somebody to say, Kyle, you're number 3. I found 5 of them in my Walmart. Well, that's your luck, I guess. This is my list, and this is what I've seen this year in 2025. Now, I will say, I've been hunting action figures since the 80s, since I was a little kid. My dad was a collector in the 90s with starting lineups. I helped him collect those, but along the way, I was collecting wrestling, Toy Biz, Marvel, a lot of other lines as well. So I've been around, I've seen about everything, and I always kind of pride myself on being able to find everything in the store eventually, and I always did. I mean, there was a lot of stories back in the day, looking at that Toy Biz Rhino once upon a time, that were very hard to find, but eventually did come down with those, did find those. And then you get some like the Nasty Boys from the Hasbro days, which I just assumed never got released because we searched actively for those. They were just never in my area for whatever reason. So there's always some strange anomalies, like a young Ace Frehley once upon a time. There's a lot of that in collecting, and you've probably experienced many similar situations. But I will say for my money, yes, I'm putting the money on the table, Tommy McFarland, 2025 had more figures I never saw at retail than any year I can ever remember. And that is very strange for me. Now, I hit more stores than the average Joe. I travel 9-10 states fairly regularly on the action figure hunt. So for me not to be able to track something down, I have to imagine people that just go to their local Walmart and Target, they missed a lot more figures than even I did this year. So if I'm missing, 10, 15 figures from seeing them in retail, I'm guessing there's people that have missed 40, 50 figures seeing at retail. So there's a lot to be said about that. It's great for collectors that like a little bit more rarity or perceived rarity, but there's also frustration where I can't find the figure I want. I'm not even going to collect the line anymore. And I know how that goes as well. Ultimate Editions, Black Cards threw me out of the Double Up Club across the board. So there's always the yin and yang to these things. But we're going to count down 10 extremely hard to find figures for me in this very countdown. And once again, this is my list. Put your list in the comments down below. But without further ado, let's kick it off at number 10. We kick off the countdown at number 10, and number 10 one is a little bit severe to me. Now, I don't know, this is borderline, should be on the list, I guess you could say, as I did attain this from stores, but it was thanks to my beautiful wife, Angie. Yes, the buxom Angie, Todd McFarland, the buxom Angie. She did find this for me. What are we talking about? Number 10, it's WWE Legends Target exclusive Chase Edition Terry Funk. And I think this is the first time I never saw a Chase version of the Legend series. I've always found him, always seen him in the stores. But of course, my all-time favorite, Terry Funk, the one I can't find. But I was very fortunate. My wife was at a Target the day they released, I believe it was. And lo and behold, there was 2 Terry Funks sitting on the shelf. 2 Chase Terry Funks. So she bought both of them, and it really helped me out because I got my mint on card one. I got my loose version of my all-time favorite Terry Funk. But I am just absolutely shocked. I never came across the Chase Terry Funk in all of my travels, all of my stuff. I found a lot of Legends, saw a lot of Legend cases, but for whatever reason, the Chase Terry Funk was never there. So once again, gotta thank my wife, Angie, for being at the right place, the right time, finding me those 2 Terry Funks. Oh boy, but at least I found them at the end of the day. So number 10, Legends, WWE, Target exclusive, Terry Funk Chase Edition. Next up, we're at the number 9 slot. And once again, we go to WWE. This time, though, we go to the main event line, and I think a lot of us know how hard the main event figures have been to find the last 6 months or so. We get a lot of the hardcores, the Drew McIntyres, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes on the pegs, but the Medusas and Nathan Frazier's and Wendy Choo's unfortunately missing. And the number 9 selection is the main event Chase Edition Wendy Choo. Yet to see this one. Now, it is still fairly early. We got to pump the brakes a little bit. I think this might be higher on the list if more time had gone by, but we've seen patterns with these ones. Most recently, I brought up Nathan Frazier. Never saw the Chase one at retail ever until my local grocery store, of all things, got a case of main events and got that one in there. So I was very happy to find that. I hope I have some similar luck with the Wendy Choo. I need to call in some favors with that grocery store. Use a little of that bread Jesus connection and see if I can get to the bottom of this with that. But absolutely wild how hard these main events are to find in 2025. And there's a lot of ones that could be on the list probably for a lot of people as far as these figures. I am thankful. Ringside, you can order these. The problem with Ringside is if you're not there when they go up, you miss out. And I basically miss all these main events because I'm just not, I'm in meetings, I'm working, I'm doing my day job. That's the hard thing. So I miss out on that stuff. I am thankful for jaystoysandgames.com. Use code Kyle, save yourself 15% on in-stock items. That's where I got the regular Wendy Choo in that full wave. They do get those main events. So that's another place. If you're looking for main event figures, head over there. Unfortunately, they rarely ever get the chases. They'll get 10 cases of the new main events, and there'll be no chases in those 10. So very strange, but if you're after main events, that's another place, another option outside of traditional retail and Ringside if you're after those. But coming in at number 9, hopefully I track it down, Wendy Choo, Chase Edition, WWE main event. We roll on with the countdown to number 8, and this time we go to our friend Todd McFarlane from the couch, and we take a trip to Target, and we're looking for a platinum. Unfortunately, never came across this platinum. Number 8, who is it? Well, we're going to go fly a kite with the Kite Man DC Multiverse Collector's Edition, Platinum Edition. And really that Kite Man, I found the regular edition at one of my Targets. That's the only time I saw it, so that one could have almost been on the list. Only saw that one time. It reminds me a heck of a lot of Geoforce. You remember about a year ago, Todd, you remember, there was a Geoforce and a Platinum Edition. My local Targets never got the Geoforce figures, all of them. Nobody I know, a few other collectors, they never saw those in this neck of the woods. However, I was on a business trip down to Kansas City. I did find them down there, and then I was at an antique store, and I actually found the Platinum Edition there cheaper than retail because the antique store had a sale going on. So that was a wild move. Dare I say a power move, Todd McFarlane. But Geoforce was the struggle last year. At least I touched a little bit of grass with that one. Unfortunately, Kite Man, a total struggle with Platinums. Don't think I'm going to see that one either. Now, Metron almost made my list, and that's very similar. Kind of the yin and yang, as there's a Metron Platinum as well. I did find that, though, at Big Bad Toy Store. So I couldn't put that one on the list. That was an easy pickup. Big Bad had it right there for in-stock shipping. I pulled the trigger on that, but I still never found the Metron Platinum either. But at least I came across that one fairly easily. But the Kite Man Platinum, still my white whale as of this moment. Maybe I'll just have to miss out. If I could only have Todd help me out. But as we know, Todd sits on the couch. He doesn't help me with action figures. It would be really cool. All this rent you're saving, you could just send me all the McFarlane stuff, and I would call it a wash. You can use the bathroom. You can use the refrigerator over there. Do whatever you want. But Todd not helping me out for whatever reason. But number 8, Kite Man Platinum Edition. Like a young Fred Durst, we keep rolling, and we're moving on to number 7 here. And number 7, once again, going to WWE, going to Mattel, going to the main event line this time once again, and we're going to Chelsea Green, but there's a lot of confusion on this one. Is it the Chase? Is it the regular? Technically, I believe this is the regular edition, but it is obviously the Chase. I've seen plenty of the other version of Chelsea Green. Heck, even unboxed it on the channel, but the one in the Ghostbuster inspired gear, no sign anywhere. A lot of people having similar frustrations. Not sure what's up with these main event figures. And there's been some confusions on regular and chases. We saw that with John Cena last year with the clear version part of the main event basics line. And now we're seeing it with Chelsea Green this go around here. Not sure how this one's going to shake up, but I've not yet seen this one. It seems to have passed by because we're seeing 2-3 sets past that at retail stores here. So where does that Chelsea show up? Does it show up at Ollie's in the future? Not exactly sure, but Chelsea Green coming in hot on this year-end top 10 hardest to find figure list. We continue on the list to number 6, and once again, we're seeing a theme heading over to Todd McFarlane from the couch, going to the DC McFarlane Collector's Edition line once again for another platinum, The Strange Lives of Superman. A very strange figure, hence the Strange Lives. I love the Alfred E. Newman head, though. Mad Magazine, an all-timer. That's one of the big parts I wanted about this one. And the cool thing, or the frustrating thing, maybe more like it, is the multiple heads that come with this one and the regular edition. So you really need to buy multiple Superman so you can get use of all those different heads. You could buy a cheaper Superman, one that's easy to find, use those heads for it. However, I got to keep it 100 like a young Conan. I got to keep all the heads with the right bodies. So I'm looking for multiples of this Strange Live one. Now, I did just recently track this down, but it's been very frustrating. Now, the regular edition, I came across 2 of them in beautiful Davenport, Iowa. Yes, I was cohorting in Davenport. That's what I was doing, like a young Johnny Cash once upon a time. And I just went to a Target there, and there was 2 chilling on the pegs. I could use one more of those. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I did get the Platinum Strange Lives of Superman, doing something I rarely do. I couldn't even count on one hand for modern day figures when I went to eBay or Mercari. But that's what I did. I did go to eBay. I did pay $50, which just grinds my gears like you would not believe it. I've been trying to clean up pop cans in the whole neighborhood and on my walks, trying to get those 5 cents. In my area, you get 5 cents back for a pop can. So collecting those, I'm going to try to make the difference and save that $15 because very frustrating to have to go to eBay. But it felt like a reasonable price. With these platinums are $35. You put tax on there, it's like $37. And that was 50-ish shipped. So I was like, you know what, 13 bucks more, 15 bucks more. I'm pulling the trigger, and that's what I did. But I'm still trying to track this down. I would love to see one at retail, but once again, I think the time has passed as of filming this video. Stranger things have happened, though. Stranger things have happened. I heard they're happening on Netflix in November. Is that true? Yeah, Todd, a hip to the Netflix, of course. That's his favorite streaming service. Favorite. You were reenacting some of those Ed Gein scenes the other day. It was a wild time. You wouldn't believe that, what Todd was wearing. Whoa. My wife was like, where is my nice nightie and my lingerie and stuff? And then there was old Todd. Todd on the couch, just trying it on. I've said enough. But there it is. Strange Lives of Superman Platinum Edition comes in at number 6. Countdown rolls on. We're at the middle of the list. We're at number 5. Do you got your list together? Put it in the comments down below. And as I said at the top, I have to imagine your mileage varies on a lot of these. I can see somebody saying, oh yeah, I saw 10 of those out at my store. And then somebody saying, man, I can't believe you found that. I never saw that. So this is a very interesting list. So put it in the comments if you can. But here we are at number 5. And number 5 goes to the most frustrating toy line of all time. Now, I've been able to track every figure down eventually from this toy line. But it's one of those things where we see people online, we see eBay and stuff selling these at crazy prices, and we see that 3, 4, sometimes 6 months ahead of traditional retail. And I think that's part of the frustration. I think when people see them starting to hit eBay, they feel like they're going to find them right away, and then it's 6 months later. That frustrates a lot of people, myself included. But I've tracked all these down, but as of right now, have not tracked this one down. Who is number 5? Well, it's the Great Muta Superstars Chase Edition. Now, I have this. I have unboxed this. I have my Min on Card sample here. I was lucky enough to have a viewer, old Bob out there, sent me these my way for cost plus shipping, which was a good brother move. I really appreciate that. Reached out to me. I said, yes, I have not seen these yet. I'm still trying to track down one more so I can display both heads. but I'm hoping I could do that at retail. Now, in the last couple of weeks, I've found 3 cases of Great Muta. Unfortunately, no chase in those cases, but the Great Muta is actually peg warming in 2 of my stores for the last 2 weeks. I can't believe that one, but I've yet to see the black chase edition here. So very, very hard to find, a very frustrating toy line to collect. That's why the Great Muta Chase Edition WWE Superstars comes in at number 5. Countdown rolls on to number 4, and number 4, we're seeing a little bit of that deja vu Iron Maiden style, all somewhere in time, shout out, of course. But number 4, once again, we go WWE Superstars Walmart exclusive line. This time, Chase Edition, Jake the Snake Robber. Still, as of now, seen that in 0 stores. Now, when those pallets were shipping as Superstars, I probably saw 5 or 6 regular Jake the Snakes, 0 Chase Editions, unfortunately. So I am trying to track that down. I did get a mint unpunched one. Shout out to Chad. He was selling in one of the Facebook groups. I said, I am buying this. I'll pay $10 more for this. I hate to do it, but for this one, I had to do it. I pulled the trigger. So I do have my mint unpunched version. I'm trying to track down a loose one. We'll see if that day does happen. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Hopefully I can find it at retail. Not holding my breath, though. Not holding my breath. But Jake the Snake Roberts, WWE Superstars Walmart exclusive. That's a mouthful, Todd McFarlane. Jake coming in at number 4. Dangerously close to the number 1 spot. We're at the number 3 selection in the top 10 hardest to find figures of 2025. And once again, we turn the magnifying glass back to Todd McFarlane. Not just for burning ants on the sidewalk anymore. It's for Todd McFarlane. He's under the heat lamp once again. As number 3, one I never saw. There was one local collector in my area that did come across this one way early before it was even announced. Very lucky for him. But for me, I never saw this one here at retail. I did miss out. I did see a stock at Nerdzoic, one of the other online retailers. They had that in stock, and I was like, oh yeah, I was in a meeting or something. My buddy sent it to me, shout out to Jeremy. And I said, oh, I'll get that for my meeting. And by the time I went there, it was out of stock. And that was when I knew it wasn't as hard to get. I didn't think it was going to be as hard to get at that time. But who is the number 3 selection? It's a deep cut, but it's a fabulous figure. I love the regular edition. Would have loved to have had a chance at the platinum. Not sure it's ever going to happen. Who are we talking about? It's long-winded, Todd. It's long-winded. Number 3 is Icon from the DC Multiverse line. Not sure what happened here. Not sure what happened with this figure, why it's so hard to find. Even the regular edition, fairly hard to find. And Todd, could this be some kind of collusion? Could there be something more to this? I don't know what's going on. Could this be an Ollie's special in the future? I don't know what's going on. I saw a few of the regular Icons out and about, but the platinum never came across it. It's on eBay, $75, $80, $100. I'm not paying that much. I just can't bring myself to do that. I can barely pull the trigger on the Strange Lives of Superman. It still eats up my soul. I'm still trying to collect those pop cans. I can't do that with Icon. We'll see what happens, though. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'll get a deal. I'll find it. Kane County Toy Show is just a week or so away. Maybe it'll be there. Maybe I can find a hot deal. We'll see what happens. I don't know, though. I'm not going to hold my breath too hard on that one. But really trying to find that one. So if I come across it, I come across it. But a very, very hard one. A white whale, dare you say. Coming in at number 3 is Icon DC Multiverse. And now we turn our attention to number 2. Dangerously close to the number 1 spot, as you know. For those that can count backwards, like you, me, and not Todd from the couch. But number 2 is one of the most frustrating figures. It's a figure I don't even want in my collection. It's like, I don't even want this. When it came out, I said, man, why are they doing this? I'm not even familiar with this character. He was more of an overseas character. Nothing against overseas, but it doesn't resonate with me. And I was very disappointed when this came out. And I said, I'll get my pre-order in. You know, it's a $55 price point. Probably $65 now is what it would cost. We know prices are going up. But we're going to Super 7, and we're going to their Ultimates line. We're going to G.I. Joe, which is basically non-existent at this point. And we're going to the Red Laser character. Now, pre-order went up for this one about this time last year. Pre-order at Walmart, that is, and Super 7 website. I said, well, Super 7 charges $10 shipping. Walmart, I get free shipping. That's a no-brainer. You got to get a deal out there. Unfortunately, Walmart canceled, as I know, no surprise to a lot of people. Personally, I haven't had a lot of issues with Walmart cancellations. I've had a few like this one. Most of the time, though, I find that stuff in the store, and I'm the one to cancel it from Walmart. Is what it is, though. It's a whole nother conversation. But this Red Laser figure, I didn't even want it. It's not even something that really interests me, but I have the entire line, so I got to have that. I got to. That's my brain. That's how I collect. It is what it is. Choose your own collecting adventure, as we say. And this Red Laser, I ordered it about this time last year. It was supposed to ship March, April of the next year. That would be 2025 we're into. And unfortunately, Walmart canceled the order. Canceled it. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. But we do know from Super 7 Ultimates, most of the Ultimates are pretty easy to find. You can usually find them, but I did not order from Super 7 online. There was no extra stock at Super 7 online. And I thought for sure Super 7 just like canceled the product completely. Said, we're just not making this anymore. That's why it was canceled. However, in a plot twist, people got it from the Super 7 website. And now this figure is extremely expensive. It is the hardest to find G.I. Joe Ultimate Edition from Super 7, selling for like $200. Just absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe this is real life. And once again, I didn't even really want this figure that bad, but I need to be complete. I need to find it. I'm hoping I'll get lucky in the long game. I'm hoping Super 7 says, hey, we're going to have more stock of this one. Something will happen with this figure in the future. I hope that for Icon, Strange Lives of Superman, some of these main events, I hope there's a little resurgence or a restock or something on these figures, and it very well could happen. I'm just not going to hold my breath on these. But this one at number 2, extremely frustrating. It is Red Laser Super 7 Ultimate, which means there can only be one. What is the hardest find figure of 2025? I think if everybody sat back and wrote it down, I think they would agree this is easily the hardest figure to find in 2025. What is it? Stay tuned. We've hit the number 1 spot in my top 10 hardest to find figures of 2025. Once again, get your list together, put it in the comments below. Put it in order, that's the hard part. That is the fun part. And if you haven't checked out the Kyle Peterson Show podcast, cheap plug, Todd McFarlane, check it out wherever podcasts are found every single Tuesday. Also, video cast on YouTube. My wife, Angie, and I break down all kinds of stuff from the week that was. Check it out if you have not already. Come say hi to Angie as well. But there it is. It's time for the number 1 hardest to find figure of 2025. And no doubt in my mind, when I started this list, this was number 1 and it never moved. There's been promises about this one to get back in stock and out to the people, out to the masses. Has yet to happen. I'm not holding my breath at this point. And it's one that keeps me up at night, to be honest with you, because you guys know I have a complete WWE Mattel Elite collection. Now, when I say Elite collection, I say everything that was allowed to be bought at stores. I'm not talking about, like I have that RVD, the canceled RVD figure in my collection. I don't count that as part of being a complete Elite collector because that wasn't officially released at store level. So I don't count that one. But this one I do have to count because it was the WrestleMania 2025 exclusive John Cena, but in the plot twist with black t-shirt. Now in my head, I'm trying to justify it. We've seen this one at Walmart. I've had this in the collection for a long time. It just doesn't come with the black shirt. But to me, that black shirt makes it a different figure. I don't know. I have the figure. I have the one in the red shirt. I have the package. I have all that. I'm just missing that black shirt. Very, very frustrating for a completist of the Elite line to not be able to track that one down. Now, I'd heard mixed stories about WrestleMania weekend. People bum rushed it, bought all of them like right away, like a couple, I don't know if you want to call them scalpers or what you're going to call it. They bought the majority of these and there was none left over. Now, the leftover ones were supposed to go to WWE Shop, and I think there was rumors they were going to go on Walmart. They were going to sell them there. That never happened. I know at San Diego Comic-Con I asked about that. The Mattel team didn't seem to be so sure what was going on, so there was really no news out of that. I am holding out hope, like a lot of figures in this line. They're sitting somewhere, and eventually they're going to go on Shop, WWE Shop, or go to Walmart, or go to Ollie's, go somewhere. Just flood the market with them. Let's get these figures out there. I hope that is the case, but as of right now, it is truly a white whale, and it could be the grail of a John Cena collection from Mattel. Now, the hard part for me is, if I would have got that, I would have said, oh, no big deal, I'm opening it up. Now, if I do come across it, I'm probably leaving it in the package is what I would have to do. I'm seeing it online for around $300. I really don't want to justify that and pick that up for $300. It just seems just crazy to me. But once again, maybe once I get those pop cans and I pay off that $15 for the Strange Lives of Superman, maybe I start a fund where I start collecting these pop cans. Or maybe, you're right, Todd, maybe I start donating some plasma. Maybe I do something like that. Somewhere where I feel like, and then I'll cover the difference to like $50. Let's just say Mania weekend, it was $50 or whatever. If I can get that other $250 by other means where I didn't feel like I had to pay for that, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Ramblings of a madman, but very frustrating on this one. It's the year of John Cena. Make that stuff available to everybody. But I don't know what's going to happen with that one. But I never was lucky enough. Obviously, I didn't go to WrestleMania. Didn't get to track this one down. So if you did, consider yourself lucky. is what it is. So that's my top 10. Once again, put yours in the top 10 in order in the comments down below. A difficult year for fig hunting. I hate to say it because I'm out there, like I said, more than most people. But here we are, 2025, a wild year. But there it is, once again. But don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to this channel. We got a lot of top 10 best of 2025 videos to come. Be interested to hear your list when that time comes for whatever we're talking about. So make sure you subscribe. Check out my other YouTube channel. Subscribe over there. Check out, of course, the Patreon YouTube channel memberships. Patreon, you can be a free member over there. I'm even doing a giveaway for anybody that signs up, be it free or paid, whatever you want to do. There will be a giveaway over there, so check that out. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. Check it out. Check out the podcast as well. Same name, The Kyle Peterson Show, wherever podcasts are found, videocast on YouTube. And my 2 books, The Complete Guide to the ECW Original San Francisco Toy Makers and The Complete Guide to the Jakks Class Superstar Series. Both available right now, Amazon or Barnes & Noble. So for the top 10 hardest to find figures of 2025, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Are we going to dance or are we going to play?